Welcome to Thriving with Diabetes, the podcast where we empower people with type 2 diabetes. I am your host, Gamden, a holistic wellness coach, helping people overcome the struggles they face with diabetes. I believe that with the correct knowledge, mindset, and support, you can manage your health condition effectively and live a fulfilling life. Today, we are joined by Amy, author, trauma-informed coach, and herbalist, dedicated to helping women reclaim their health and well-being. Her mission is to guide women in transforming into their own best healers, leveraging ancient healing techniques and holistic approaches. In this episode, we will explore the importance of holistic healing that goes beyond just a positive mindset and discuss how reconnecting with nature can profoundly impact our health. Amy will also share insights on breath work for healing, the importance of toxins on the impact of toxins on our health, and the crucial role of mind-body connection. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Amy to introduce herself. Amy, welcome to Thriving with Diabetes podcast.
Thanks, Gamden. I'm excited to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant.
It is unique, unfortunately.
So let's start by talking a little bit about your health journey and mission, so our viewers and listeners have an overview about your mission as well.
Sure. So I raised in the world there is an epidemic of chronic disease and chronic illness, and as long as mental illness. And this is because of the way that we now live rather than human are only, talked about what we do and how busy we are and how there's not enough time from the wisdom that lives within us, but also the innate wisdom that lives within Mother Earth. And so when we live at odds with ourselves and with Mother Earth, we're working against the way the body is designed to operate. But because we're not taught how the body is designed to operate in school, so we keep just doing because everybody else is doing it, so it must be fine. And so in the Western world of chronic disease, chronic pain, and mental illness, it's the body. We don't know how the body is designed to work. We are not in harmony with Mother Nature anymore. We work against her. We pollute and abuse her. And we have this idea that never integration. I want to keep up with the Joneses. I don't want to be left behind. And this mindset actually causes the body not designed to move slowly. And so this constant rat race that we're involved in is actually working against the design of the body. On top of that, most people live numb from the neck down, so they don't take the time to stop to experience their emotions or sensations because either it doesn't exist, or they think it's not important. Because if energy cannot flow, it creates more pain. And so with this energy, you have trapped emotions, trapped experiences, and when it's not dealt with, the body will give you symptoms. So we think the body is broken, but this is the way that the body talks to us, is through symptoms. It's just messages trying to let us know that there's a problem we need to pay attention to. But again, because we work against it. So we take the pills, we cut all the body parts, your model, and we don't get any better, and we think there's something wrong with us.
Brilliant. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing or giving us an overview. Let's move forward and talk about mindset. While a positive mindset is often emphasized in wellness discussions, it is important to recognize the complex nature of healing. Can you explain why holistic healing involves much more than just mindset?
Yes, holistic healing looks at the body as a whole, looks at the whole person, the mental, the emotional, and that's mind-body medicine, in that it addresses the root cause of the issue, which goes against the standardized protocol approach of your medical teacher, that if you don't ascribe to their methodology, it's something that makes a lot of what's going on. And so if your lab work is quote unquote normal, it's all in your head. If you don't get better taking the medications, it's all in your head, right? So there's this idea that there's only a focus on the mental and the physical aspects in modern day medicine. But modern day medicine, in the 1930s, when everything was standardized, so that it was herbalism, osteopathic, chiropractor, homeopathy, looking at the body as a whole, looking at all of the systems. So this system does not operate. It makes a lot of people feel like there's something wrong with them because they do not get better when they go with the standardized approach. And that's because you cannot heal without addressing the physical, the mental, the spiritual, and the energetic. If the focus is more than mindset, you can do your affirmations, you can, have your positive thoughts and all of that. The body's going to call you a liar because it knows that deep down you don't believe that, and then your body directs you to pay attention to. So the body will not actually positive effects of saying affirmations, of being mindful of your thoughts, of having a positive. It understands that you don't actually believe that. You're not drinking the Kool-Aid, and it calls you out on it. But we think that, it's not working enough, let me do more or not the system more. So the approach is actually less so small, making it be a unique, individualized approach to each person, because each person has had different life experiences. They have different needs right now, and new healing journey. So a standardized approach is not going to have any person unique experiences that need to be addressed in order to achieve full body healing.
Brilliant. Very interesting. I liked when you mentioned that when we talk about a holistic approach, we need to look at the body as a whole. And you mentioned as well small steps and looking at different needs. So, and you started before that, no one size, or there is no one size will fit all. So everyone has different needs and preferences, and that's why we need to look at a personalized approach, including a holistic approach when it comes to health and wellness. And I want to move to the next point that we want to discuss it today, which is about reconnecting with nature. And modern lifestyles often disconnect us from nature, which can impact our health and well-being. Reconnecting with nature can be a powerful tool in the healing process. How does being in nature contribute to our health and wellness?
Humans were designed to be in harmony with nature. As I said before, the innate wisdom that lives within you also lives within Mother Nature. But because we are screens and everything that it can offer us, right? The world is at your fingertips. You miss out on so much that is actually out there. This is a vacation to the beach or the lake or into the woods, and you go camping. You feel better. You're getting natural energetic frequencies and electromagnetic frequencies that Mother Nature provides. And these frequencies operate to balance your body back into a restorative state. Whereas screens and technology and devices, Apple Watch, all those appliances and gadgets causing more. And the body doesn't need to know where the stress is coming from. It just knows it, and it doesn't the difference where it's coming from. But for a lot of the people I work with, and myself included, a lot of the energy that is invisible actually really negatively affects artificial stuff. Again, your Wi-Fi router, your cell phone, your Bluetooth, Apple Watches, AirPods, all of that. It's a constant radiation exposure. Smart meters, constant exposure to your body, and your body cannot handle that. So when you go out into nature, you mitigate that because nature can reverse those effects. But when you're never green and you're always being bombarded by this radiation, whether there's a smart Wi-Fi router that's constantly on, the smart meter that's constantly sending radiation to you, the smart appliances, you receive all of that negative effects 24/7. And by being disconnected to Mother Earth, you're not able to see the ability of being in harmony throughout the whole ecosystem, right? So the fungus community, the animal community, the insect, and as much as we didn't harm them, they will outlast humans. Like they will outlast, top of the food chain, but we're not. And so having this warped sense of you exploring and appreciating and benefiting from all of the wisdom that she has, right? So I classes about how to forage for weeds, how to eat your weeds. I classes about how to make products from the plants that you grow. I just a skill set that we had for a very long time. And then the generation that had knowledge is now the last generation that is, they're close to their end on here on Earth. So it's not something that's commonly taught down people. It's commonly passed on, but indigenous cultures still do it. So you see that this happening. The blue communities, the blue parts of the world, I can't think of the right terminology right now, but blue zones. Longer because they live in harmony with Earth. They live in community. They live moving their body, eating real food. They don't eat processed food. They don't eat chemical sprayed food. They raise. They live much longer, healthier, happier existences. So even though, and again, this is not now the case, but for a while, the age of humans in Western society was increasing as long. So it's, there's a whole reason for that. It's whole from with Earth, disconnection between yourself, your intuition, disconnection between yourself and community, right? We prize being ultra independent in this society. I did everything myself, I don't need anybody. But actually that creates harm. Body and healing. To heal in community. You can't heal on your own. Believe me, I tried as a type A person. I tried to do everything myself, not have to have any help me, not more harm. And I only got so far because I did not have that support. This is a whole container for me to allow for healing. Offer that to other people understand the importance of it because of experience myself.
Brilliant. Very interesting. You shared a lot of information, and you mentioned that uh, technology uh, can cause a sort of damage to our health. And you mentioned stress, and to mitigate the risk. So we need to connect with nature. Uh, I have heard something from someone saying connecting with nature helps with allergies. So people who connect with nature, who do gardening or anything similar to that, will have less allergy reactions. Um, that is just something to mention about.
Yeah, they have a stronger
Yes.
immune system because they're exposed to all the bacteria, of bacteria. So when you're eating food that's sprayed with Roundup and and herbicides and pesticides inside, you play in the dirt. Right? Like kids don't play in the dirt anymore. Growing up, child diabetes, but a lot of kids now, it's all video games, computers, their cell phone. They don't know how to play in the dirt. They don't know how an imagination. They don't know they don't know what to do without a device in front of them. It holds so much. You can boost your immunity by living with her, eating more of the plants, eating your weeds, right? Your own food, observing that food, raising your own animals. Like this, homesteading lifestyle is becoming more popular now as the price of food has become outrageous. Not everybody, it's not feasible for everybody to do that. So you can find ways, right? So I don't raise my own animals. My friend has a farm and she raises the animals and we trade, right? So she gets me to raise animals from her for food. And so it's about living in community. You have to do people trust and have a like-minded awareness of how they would like to live their life as well. And you can start a community with them, a cooperative. You decide to volunteer, learn more, so you decide to volunteer. Or they would love for you to weed for them, then they don't have to do that, right? So it's like thinking outside of the box and being aware and mindful of how it's that conscious awareness. It's not that rote behavior, just unconsciously living, moving through the Groundhog Day of the same thing. You're spending your time, who you're spending your time with, what you're ingesting, right? Like I don't watch the news. I am very mindful of what I ingest because my system does not understand. It's not happening to me personally, right? So like you see war, my system does not understand that, neither does yours. So you're constantly bombarding it with violent and disturbing images, and you wonder why you have nightmares. You can't wonder why your system is trying to tell you it's helpful, but we don't understand that. We just do what everybody else is telling us, right? It's always looking outside of what they else do. And I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to let you know that you have an option and you get to choose what's best for you. You always have options. You always have a choice. Be open to trying something different.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing these great insights and helpful tips as well. Thank you for that. I don't want to talk about herbs now, but we will leave it for later. But I want to talk about breath work for healing. And it's a simple practice that can significantly impact our physical and mental health. Maybe many people might not be aware of these or its benefits. Can you talk a little bit about how breath work can help? with managing stress and improving health?
Sure. So the reason I advocate for breathwork is because it's free. You don't have to go anywhere to do it. And you've been breathing since birth, so you're not like you're learning a new skill. But most people are not breathing properly. So they're breathing very shallowly, they're hyperventilating to operate with. So it keeps you stuck in this fight tendency. So you're always stuck in this overdrive sympathetic state. So you get stuff done, but at what cost that you get stuff done. You actually stressed, always anxious, you might be depressed, you might be overwhelmed, you are activated and triggered by life. This is because we don't have coping skills that we're adults. And so everything that happens to us feels like a personal attack, right? Like it's actually like you can feel it like a boomerang effect, like, oh, that really hurt. That I felt that. That really bothered me. We say all the time, not realizing them, but to sit cross-legged in the corner with your eyes closed and like look at a candle or have a mantra. Breathwork, there are no rules. You can move, you can teach people havening, right? These are all some self-soothing techniques that work with the design of the body. You can have it be 5 minutes, it can be 15 minutes, it could be an hour, right? Like it can look different every single day for every single person. And that you can tailor it to what you need that day. Today, Tai Chi and Qigong, I did some energy medicine techniques. I needed more movement because I felt like I had some energy that needed to be released, right? So I work with my body. I respect the messages it's giving me. Breathwork has given me that. It didn't feel safe to be in my body. I actually use breath as my body from the pain and I didn't understand that while I was using breath work, why it wasn't working, why I felt worse for days after. And it was because but now I have had the support. I feel more comfortable body. I know it's on my side, that it's not broken, it's not trying to hurt me, it's trying to help me. And so I'm able to respond rather than react to what's happening with my body. So it's no longer where I need to escape. I can allow the sensations to come up and let them pass and transmute through them. But we don't ever let that happen in life. And so, the common example is in the wild, but I use my dog as an example. Like she chases a lot of money in our backyard. And so when the body think about it, it's an automatic reaction of the animal. We it because we want to appear weak, or we don't have time to let the processing happen, or we don't understand. We mind get in the middle of the intelligence of the body. But the mind is simply just part of the body. It's not the end all be all. And when breath work, you find what's in our society with the constant screens and the constant doing, the brain needs rest. And when the brain rests more, you have less brain fog, you have less anxiety, you have less headaches, you have less vision problems, because the brain needs to rest. After that, everything is in overdrive. And as I said before, like the body does not want steady, calming pace. So breathwork allows you to connect to the innate wisdom that lives within you. A lot of people say that they get natural high using any plant medicine. They have a higher connection to their ideas. They may form more connected to their innate wisdom, their higher self, and feel that they're more guided if they have to, choices they make are more aligned with how they feel and how they want to feel. There's a lot of health benefits. It can anxiety, depression, and all of those things. But it just, for me and for the clients that I see, it allows for you to experience the brilliance that lives within you. It allows you to experience in you. You can have a connection to your higher self, but also your power. It's a really transformative practice, just using your breath. Like something as simple as just using your breath.
Yeah, very interesting information about breath work. So I think many people don't implement that. Hopefully, this will give them an idea about the about its benefit. And you mentioned that you said we don't know how to breathe properly, and that is a red flag. And you mentioned as well, when it comes to breath work, there is no specific form of exercise. You can do anything you want, and I like the point when you said it helps to reset the body, or to set the body and the mind. So it's very important to start or to try breath work to improve our health. Let's talk about yeah.
No, I was gonna say you don't have to tell a story. Like with talk, a lot of people story over and over again. They keep the energy alive in that. Breathwork, you don't need to tell a story. You don't need to go back to age 10 years. It's release, so you can release the trapped emotions, the trapped energy that's creating the pain, that's creating the disease, just by using your breath. Like that's how powerful it is. And listeners will have the free gift that I've included. That is a free guidance. Try it out and see if and see how powerful it can be. I mean, you can just stop and take 3 per phone or a time, before breakfast, before lunch, before dinner, before bedtime, to take those 3 deep breaths. Because when you inhale, the belly should expand. And when you actually converse that. And that's actually causing more harm. Or if you think and you look at a puppy, when you can see the puppy's belly, right? When my dogs sleep, that's the way it's supposed to be. But because people don't want to have a belly, they want to have a flat stomach, they hold in their breath, right? Like even in yoga practice, people won't get the full expression of the diaphragm.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing that information. Very interesting. I want to talk about toxins on health, the impact of toxins on health. What are some common sources of toxins, and how can they impact our health?
So it's basically everything in the world. But, basically everything that you are exposed to now. Again, the technology, the air you breathe, the water you drink, the air inside your house is notoriously dirtier than the air outside, unless you live in a very area. We think of the modern society in that the things that are sold to us. In Europe, there are more stricter criteria for what can be sold, what claims can be made for healthcare solutions and devices and things like that. But in America, it breeds system, and it's controlled by control. They control the food you eat, whether that's the processed food, whether that's the sprayed on Roundup crops feed to conventional animals. There is toxins in the supplements, in the medications that you take. It's in the food you eat. It's on the clothing you wear. It's on the where you use. It's on the chemicals you clean your house, their body, as far as personal care beauty products. It's pervasive and it's really scary. And I don't say that lightly. Like, it's something very, and it's a first step that I address with clients, because people are not aware of the breadth and depth of the issue unless they've done their research. Certainly, a lot of the research is not able to be easily found by corporations like Big Pharma. So it goes back again to this idea, the 1930s, the 1950s, how medical arena changed, and doctors were promoting smoking as being healthy in the 1950s. We now know that's not the case, but in the 1950s it's promoted as being healthy, and food right now is being healthy, right? Don't eat meat because that leads to climate change. Eat meat is healthier for you. It's not. It's filled with lots of chemicals and toxins, but this is the story that's being told, and if you don't know any better, you're just gonna go those power interests at heart, but they don't. Sadly, it's all about money. I don't for people to think that I'm being extreme about it. The information is out there. There's lots of books written about it. The data Flexner report speaks about this in detail. So, again, speaking to awareness of how am I living my life? What am I ingesting? What am I putting in and on my body? What am I hearing? What am I into? Because the way you were raised is based upon that wisdom that was passed down. And Dr. Bruce Lipton speaks about this, from the 1970s, this epigenetics, and that your genes are not your destiny. It's on your body as far as for disease and sickness. So it's that external toxic environment. It's the internal terrain. It's not something that makes you sick. It's the inside of what goes on. If your body is not healthy and well and balanced on the inside, you will get sicker more. These outside us, like these germs and things we can't see, is not accuracy that we've been told. And I didn't understand all of this. I thought everything everybody else thought for years because I worked in the medical system. That was what I was taught. And I didn't have to learn it until I was really sick myself and Western medicine failed me. And then I had to find something new to learn and unlearn everything I thought I knew about sickness and health. I had to start all over again. And I would not go back as I know now. And I live a completely different lifestyle. I wanted 25 because of the way that I live my life now.
Brilliant. Very interesting. A follow-up question: how can people reduce exposure to toxins?
Stop drinking out of plastic. Stop eating out of plastic. Stop using a microwave, especially if you're putting plastic in the microwave. You hear out the air in your house. You can actually get a separate filter. Be cleaning that filter, because if that filter becomes moldy, then you're getting exposed to mold. And so it's an awareness of how you're living your life. You drive through as easy and convenient, rather than, I don't eat out. We don't have clean areas for me to eat here, so we don't eat out at restaurants. Higher quality, dense, better tasting to do that. However, you have to make gourmet meals. Like, I cook very simply because I don't have the time or the energy to cook elaborate meals. And I don't need that. Like, you don't need to elaborate meals with clean ingredients and understand of them. It's conditioned to eat ultra processed food. It's been conditioned out to go to the drive-thru, have somebody deliver it, take something out of the freezer that's already made that. And again, like, it's filled with chemicals. It's all filled with preservatives. It's all filled. It's got like a plastic wrap it. And there's so many chemicals in all of those takeout containers that are used as preservatives on top of the preservatives that are then added to the food. And so it's just society. It's very apparent, like the changes of years is making us a sick society. And so if you are mindful of what and how you're living your life, just don't know radical. It's just natural. Like, I have a back to basics approach. It's like humans living for thousands of years. It's not radical. It's just different from what everybody else does. But different doesn't mean that different you're used to. But you can become used to something new. It's about working with the body. The body does not like change. It doesn't like hard and fast. It doesn't like things too quick, but you can make these small changes. And when I work with clients, I walk them through like what select my frequency, take the cell phone out of your room, put the Wi-Fi at night when you should be saying you shouldn't be getting radiated by a Wi-Fi router. You should not have any device in your or being it. It's really important. And so it's a mindful awareness of what am I using to clean my home? Causing fragrance, like anything that has fragrance or perfume on it, that's a chemical. But we're not taught any of this, so we don't know any better, right? You might get a headache and you're like, oh, that's weird, I got a headache from it. Or I ate the pizza and I don't feel so great after that change. This is the problem. And so for people like me who are highly sensitive, our systems are hardwired to be overly vigilant and to be aware of all the things that are around us that are threats, because we move through the world using our senses. Unlike the rest of the population that just moves around with their senses, but highly sensitive people use their senses more. We feel things more. So we're pickier about where we're will be where we'll live because we're hypersensitive to these things. It's a way for the body to keep us safe. But other people view it as a weakness. It's not a weakness. It's just that we are designed that way for our body to know where there's danger. But people have taught individuals haven't turned it off. They were the ones that were very safe, knew when weather was coming through, knew what was dangerous and what was where it was safe to stay, things like that, like following the weather patterns. These are all skills that are no longer revered, but these are skills that are still necessary even in the modern day world because we are so exposed to so many more toxins and threats and exposure.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing these great information and tips as well. Just to summarize a few things here, you said toxins in food, clothes, and beauty products, and some of the ways to reduce exposure to toxins is avoiding plastics, having air filters, and avoiding ultra-processed foods. Earlier in this episode, you mentioned mind and body connection. Can you touch a little bit more about this topic?
Sure. So, again, as I said before, in the past, medicine wasn't a body approach, and looking at the person as a part system. Out, right? So, like, you have GI issues, you go to the GI doctor. You have migraines, you go to the nephrologist. but it doesn't address the root cause of what's going on. So you need to look at all aspects of the body, because if you incidents that created energy blockages in your spiritual level of your body, right? All aspects of the body, you will not be able to fully heal until spiritual emotional aspect has been healed, until that energetic aspect has been healed. So you can do all that manic healing, you keep doing it, thinking like, oh, I'll do it more, I'll do this protocol, I'll do neuroplasticity, I'll say my affirmations, I'll do my lands in the body, and it doesn't address medical. Just living in the modern day world, because even if you think you had an idealistic childhood, you live in the modern day world. Like what you're exposed to on a daily basis is traumatic. It's not the way the body was designed to operate and heal. So this is why there's such an epidemic of chronic pain, chronic disease. What humans revere now, whereas in the past, the way people lived was much different. Between all parts of the body, there was medicine, it wasn't just killing something with a pill, cutting a body part off to address the issue. It was a whole body aspect, and that's what herbalism does. That's what homeopathy does. Earth medicine does. Original medicine, Tai Ching, they all address the body as a whole. But look at these, whether that's ingredients, whether that's eating for the seasons, whether that's eating for your body type, whatever that may be, like there are aspects of healing that have been around for thousands of years because they work. And I came to heal myself was through these ancient healing systems. It wasn't through Western medicine. It wasn't through a supplement. It wasn't through a protocol. It was through understanding how my body worked, beginning to work with it rather than against it, and using my body's on my side, and I get to choose what's for me. I just approach that works for me on a day-to-day basis.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing that information. Very interesting. This will take us to the next one, which is about herbs. It's my favorite topic. Herbs offer a natural way to support health and manage chronic conditions. So it will be very helpful if you can talk about herbs and their benefits.
Right. So as I've said earlier, plants is every plant that grows has some sort of medicinal aspect to it. And I didn't understand that, even though I grew up with a garden as a kid, and I knew your own food growing had medicinal aspect. And so Mother Nature provides for you. The issue is that when people try to treat herbalism like Western medicine, so I have this condition, what is the plant take to have varied aspects that can work in different ways. There's synergistic aspects they can work with your body, or they may not be one for you. Just like people have constitution. So Ayurveda speaks about this, right? With your dose of dry and hot, or cold and wet, damp, stagnation, right? Like all of these things, it's spicy and cooling. Like all these properties, you also have the same property. So if you are always cold, it's plants actually cause more cooling, which would go against. You would want a plant that would maybe dry heat, or maybe you would need moist heat, depending on your constitutional issue. You're balance out more will be revealed. And so we use plants as allies in our healing. For me, I use plants for things to turn into medicine and for food. And I engage with plants in that it's a constant evolution of learning. So even though I've been doing herbalism for 10 years, I'm still constantly learning the plants. I had issues with allergies this year, which hadn't normally been a problem. I was getting these like practice, like go get some honeysuckle today, like go forage some honeysuckle or go forage this other plant. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I would go, and because I still don't trust it, 10 years later, I could put anything there. You want to get herbalism books from reputable sources. Oh, yeah, honeysuckle would help me today. Let me go get some honeysuckle. So it's community, it's relationship. In affinity, Mother Nature is offering you, but it's a receive and a giving. I don't just take. I'm also giving back to Mother Earth, right? So like when I teach people how to forage, just forage responsibly. You don't take everything. You take only what you need. Not so take things that need to be taken from, right? So if you lost something, that's what you can. Mother Nature wants you to take that. But if there's something that there's only because she does not want to take them. So again, it comes back to this idea of awareness of how am I living? How can I be in harmony with Mother Earth? But how can I work with her to support her rather than just taking from her? It's a reciprocal relationship.
Brilliant, very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Herbs are easy to plant, so even with a small pot, you can have one even at home or in the garden outside the door. Some of the herbs
you can plant a lot of plants.
Exactly, yeah. Some of the herbs that I plant are peppermint, rosemary, lavender, sage, thyme. So these are some of the herbs that I plant and use. They are very helpful. Thank you for sharing the information about herbs. This will take us to the next point, which is about your inspiring message. So my question is, what inspiring message or advice would you like to leave with our viewers and listeners to motivate or help them with their health journey?
Sure. So I think there's nothing with you. It's you're trying to heal in a system that is broken, in a system that does not work as an individual with needs. If you haven't been seen, heard, or believed throughout your life with your health conditions, that's not your fault. Like there's nothing wrong with you, and it can be really difficult. But I want to let people know that things heal. There are other ways that you can restore balance back to the body with the body, and it's never too late. It's never too late to start healing, and you get to choose what's best for you.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing your inspiring message. How can people find you if they want to get in touch with you or learn more about you and what you do? And maybe even
Sure.
if you have got
So they can grab
something to share.
They can grab the free gift, which was the guided breathwork session. That will be in the show notes. Go to breathwork.com, and they can check out more about me and my approach.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing your contact information. Have you got anything else you want to share before we wrap up this episode?
I think I gave a lot of information, so I'm gonna pass on sharing anything else as an overall listener.
Brilliant. Now we have come to the end of this episode, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our amazing guest, Amy, for generously sharing her expertise, insights, and time with us. I want also to thank all of you, our dedicated viewers and listeners, for being a part of this episode. If you need additional support or guidance, you can book a call with me at wellnessimpact.org. If you found today's episode insightful and valuable, I invite you to join our community of people committed to thriving with diabetes. To stay up to date for upcoming episodes, empowering discussions, and practical tips, make sure to subscribe and follow us. Once again, thank you, Amy, for being our guest today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this impactful journey. Until next time, take care of your health and keep thriving.